Welcome to the kimono creation tutorial. This is the first of a series of instructional lessons on kimono. We would like to invite you into the traditional world of kimono. First, put on the kimono left over the right and adjust the length to the ankles. At this point, the bottom corner of the inner panel must be higher than the rest of the hem. Tie the sash around your waist. Tuck in the excess fabric on the right side panel to make a triangle in order to make the left side flat. Fold the excess fabric over the sash. Starting from the front, take the sash around the back and smooth out the back of the kimono so that there are no wrinkles. Then bring the sash back around to the front and tie the sash around the bust. Place the board in front and underneath the obi. The length of the obi should be the same as the length of your arm and leave it over your shoulder. Wrap the long section around your waist twice and tighten. Fold both ends in half lengthwise. Cross short section over long section. Tie the ends by bringing short section over the long section, then twist in the opposite direction to hold the knot. Wrap the end of the long section inside itself to make the fan-style butterfly wings starting from the knot. Center the wings on the knot. Wrap the short section over the center of the wings once or twice and tuck the end into the sash. You are now ready for the summer festival. The kimono had played important roles in the history of Japanese apparel since the Edo period. In today's Japan, a traditional kimono is still worn for special occasions such as a wedding. We would like to introduce one of a bridal kimono, a white bridal kimono. To wear a bridal kimono, you must make a female body as flat as possible. To do so, place the cotton padding on the upper chest and the waist area. A full-length undergarment called nagajiban will be worn over the padding. Make sure the collar in front is at 90-degree angle to itself. Then bring the left over the right and tie it in place with a temporary cord below the chest, which will be removed later. Wrap the cord around the back, remove the wrinkles, and pull the collar down with one hand space from the neckline. In Japan, sexiness comes from the woman's neckline. Pulling down the collar emphasizes the neckline and porcelain-like skin. Fasten with the waistband called datejime at the waist. It is secure now, so take off the temporary rope. This is the full-length undergarment, nagajuban. Length of the kimono sleeves signifies the marital status. The long sleeves are for single females, and the short sleeves are for married females. So today will be the last day for the bride to wear a long sleeve kimono. Now, another layer called the kakeshita will go over the full-length undergarment. Remember, kimono must be worn left over the right. Only the deceased wear the opposite. Tie the sash around the breast area. Kakeshita is made longer in length, so it is very important to adjust the length properly. At this point, you see the collars of undergarments, which must be equal on both sides. The bottom part must be tapered for sophisticated line, and for the traditional bridal kimono, it is worn dragged, just like the mermaid shape. The traditional bridal kimono called shiromuku, which means white and pure in Japanese. As in Western culture or in Japan, white is worn by the bride, which represents sincerity, purity, and virginity. In a traditional Japanese wedding, the bride's hair is a design in the style called bunkin takashimada, and worn with the beautiful combs and accessory called kanzashi. Now, wrap a white sash or datejime around the waist, securing the kimono for the last time before we proceed to the next step, the obi. Kakeshita is now complete. The white sash used for this process is called kakeshita obi. Wrap the white sash twice around the waist, inserting the two boards, one in the front below the breast and one inside the sash in the back. This process is used to help keep the sash in shape. Kakeshita obi is the most formal of all sashes, and it is about 165 inches long. Festive designs are woven into the obi. Traditionally, this particular sash is worn only by the bride. The placement in making the symmetrical bows of the kakeshita obi is so difficult that it takes years of practice to master. Padding will be placed at the lower back to help stabilizing the sash bow. Any excess of obi should be tucked under the padding. There are several sashes used to hold and secure the kakeshita obi. The top sash is called the obiage. It is used to cover the padding. The rope around the top of sash is called the obijime. Obijime holds the kakeshita obi secure. Flip over the bow, making a nest-like shape as if eggs can be held in the dimples. The obijime and obiage also must be placed left over the right. Must be folded and tucked very neatly, placing at the center of the bride's body. obijime is the last cord to secure kakeshita obi. Brides must wear traditional accessories. This includes the fan and a small carrying case with a mirror called hakoseko, kaiken or small sword. With the white cap and white embroidered gown, the bride is ready to attend the ceremony. The groom also wears a traditional kimono called monpuku. For ceremonial occasion, the black, crested kimono is worn with kakuobi or stiff obi before wearing the white bottom clothing called hakama. Both the kimono and haori are made of black silk worn with 5 family crests at the back of both sleeves, left and right breast, and the middle of the back seam. This tradition of wearing the family crest on both the female and male kimono started during the Edo period. Here's the example of casual style to tie a sash called kainokuchi or shellfish. The white haori robe and tabi, or the split-toed socks, are worn along with them. Maiko is a geisha in training, wears a special kimono. First layer of white undergarments are shown. The second layer is placed over the first layer. Then a stiff collar is placed over the second layer as well. They are tied left over the right with strings in the front below the breast. Make sure to line the kimono to the center of the back. The front should be closed left over the right by pulling up the hem of the kimono. This is when the final length is decided. Now tie it with the sash in the front slightly above the hip bone. Wrap and tuck in both ends of the sash around the sash itself. Now the kimono is fitted over the embroidered collar. Make sure enough collar is shown. Another sash is tied under the breast to hold the upper section and collar in place. Pull the collar down about 1 palm length from the hairline. Make sure while looking from the top angle you can see 3 layers. Red silk sash is wrapped in order to flatten the waist, but it's also a decorative sash. The obi pad is placed on top of the shoulder blades. In Kyoto-style Maiko obi, the upper 1/3 portion of obi is flipped over and wrapped twice around the body clockwise. Insert 2 boards in front below the breast and inside the obi in the back, and tighten both sections of the obi by pulling the bottom part of the obi. Tie both ends by bringing the short section over the long section and twist in the opposite direction to hold the knot. The long section is folded in half, leaving the end just slightly longer than the